it's not all of us, it's all, but these are leaders too, though, right? These are stakeholders, right?
Agree with anything and everything that the Israeli government demanded of them. And the topic actually came back again yesterday with Meghyn Kelly essentially referencing their exchange on social media. But all that did was lead to a fresh round of backlash toward Kelly, including from a group of vocal critics who absolutely demanded that she disavow Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and essentially sever ties with them. And I have to say, whatever you might think about all the different figures involved in the story, I am going to give Meghyn Kelly major props for her reaction, her response. So we'll get to them in a second, but first, a bit of context. So the right wing has been debating this letter that Charlie Kirk sent to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in May of this year. Now, Netanyahu had referenced that letter, or at least one part of that letter, in interviews that he did shortly after Charlie Kirk was violently and viciously assassinated. And he also claimed that Charlie Kirk was, a huge supporter, highly supportive of Israel. Others like Owens and Carlson, though, disputed that narrative. Okay, so look, I'll give you guys a little bit of background. I don't think that I'm disclosing anything that's not allowed, but if you guys can remember, I was on Tucker Carlson's show at one point this year, and I got a text message from Tucker Carlson shortly after it aired. And he told me that Charlie Kirk loved it. He thought it was an excellent conversation, and Charlie would like you to go on his show to talk about these issues. And so it was basically Tucker's way of letting me know that Charlie Kirk liked what I had to say about Israel and wanted to discuss it further on his podcast. Now, obviously, I hadn't gone on Charlie Kirk's podcast before he was assassinated, but I do think that he had criticisms of what Israel is carrying out in Gaza. He had been on the record. It was very vocal against invading Iran for a regime change war. Now, the full letter has come out, and I've read it. And to be honest with you, that letter does not make it appear as though Charlie Kirk hated Netanyahu. But there had been other criticisms that he had either uttered himself, not as strongly in terms of criticism, but, he had slowly but surely started criticizing some of the conduct of the Israeli government. That's not really shocking or surprising if you've been paying attention to this story. Now, in that letter, for the most part, Kirk shied away from any strong criticism of Israel. Instead, he advised Netanyahu and his government to essentially work on social media outreach in order to stop young conservative Americans from turning against Israel. And so yesterday, Kelly posted about her conversation with Kirk, writing, "The Charlie Kirk letter to Bibi is interesting for obvious reasons, but if you want to hear Charlie in his own words speaking to a friend regarding his feelings on Israel and the pressure on him,